everybody, welcome to this 1 hour crow class. So this class is all going to be about finding that arm balance of bakasana, crow. So we're going to be strengthening up the core, we're going to be working into those arm balance, working into those wrists, and then all round a nice total vinyasa class as well. If you do have yoga blocks handy or something similar, you can find a big chunky book will also help. You might not need them, but they can be really helpful in this class. So you can go grab those now, pause the video, and then I'll meet you back on the mat. Hope you enjoy. So we're going to start lying down on our backs. Getting yourself nice and comfortable. You can let the legs go out long. Have the arms down by the sides, just to start with. And then we'll close the eyes. Just taking this time now to forget about what's happened in the day up to now. Slow things down. Start to notice the breath coming in through the nose. And then you can let it fall out through the mouth. Just nice and gently. Noticing that breath. You can do a little scan from the top of the head all the way down the body. Just checking in. Notice how you're feeling, if you're sore, if you're tired, or if you've got loads of energy. You don't need to do anything, just bring that awareness and then let it go. And then from here, just place your right hand down on your stomach. And then bring that left hand all the way up onto the chest. And now we're going to breathe in through the nose and let that breath go all the way down into that right hand. So all the way down into the belly. And then all the way up into the chest. So filling the lungs up. And then out through the nose, out through the chest, out through the belly. And again, inhale, down into the belly, up into the chest. And then slow exhale, letting it go. And again, nice long inhale through the nose. Filling the lungs up, feeling your body expanding out into the room. And then long exhale out. One more here. Inhale. Breathing into the lungs, into those ribs. And then long exhale out through the nose. I'm going to keep that breath going now. Gently start to open the eyes. Bring your right knee into the chest on an inhale. Interlace those hands around the knee. Just gently start to squeeze it in. Big breath in. And exhale, we can rock that knee side to side. Gently getting into that hip. You can even draw some circles with that knee. One way and then the other way. Coming into our half happy baby now, so take that leg over towards the side as you bring that right arm on the inside of the leg. Take a hold of the outside of the foot if we can, let that knee fall out towards the side, and then bringing the sole of the foot up parallel with the ceiling. Pulling that foot down against that foot to draw that knee a little bit down towards that side, and then here we want to place that left hand on top of that left hip, just to make sure that those hips are staying nice and square. Inhaling here. And exhale, drawing that foot down a little bit more. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then gently start to bring that foot back through center. From here, taking a spinal twist, guide that knee over towards the left. Won't stay here too long, just finding that nice release through that lower back. Big breath in. And exhale. Inhale back through center. We'll switch the legs, so let that right leg go out long. Bringing that left knee into the chest and once again, squeezing that knee in. Inhale here. As we then exhale, start to rock that knee side to side. Start to get into that hip a little bit. It feels nice to draw some big circles with that knee. One way, and then the other way. And then coming into our half happy baby again. So that left hand comes on the inside, taking a hold of that foot, either the outside of the foot or the inside of the foot, and letting that knee fall out towards the side. We then bring the sole of the foot up parallel with that ceiling, drawing that knee down, pulling that hand against that foot, and then just checking in, making sure that right hip bone is staying down towards the ground. Inhale here. As we exhale, we can pull with that hand a little bit deeper. Now and again, inhaling and exhale. And slowly release that foot. We're going to guide that knee all the way over towards the right, finding that gentle spinal twist at the beginning of class. Inhale and exhale. Our next inhale, we're going to come all the way back through center, bringing both knees into the chest now. Give them a little squeeze in. Now with our crow pose, we want to work on strengthening up that core. So it's a lot of core strength as we take that arm balance. So right now we're just going to find a little bit of core activation. The gentle to start off with, I want you to take those shins so they're parallel with the ground. So taking those thighs a little bit further away. And then squeeze those knees together. And then from here, feeling like the lower back is pressing down into the mat. So you're already starting to squeeze that core muscles there. From here, I'm going to place your hands on top of your thighs and just gently start to press those hands into the thighs and feeling that strengthening of that core a little bit more. Making sure those knees aren't going forwards, they're going to stay directly above those hips. So pressing with those hands, pressing, 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 and then release. And again, big breath in. On the exhale, press those hands into the thighs, pressing the thighs against the hands. And then inhale, release. We'll do one more. Inhale here. Exhale, press those hands against those thighs. Press those thighs against those hands. Squeeze that core. And then we can release. Let those arms go out wide, palms facing down. Using that core, again, we're going to take those knees all the way over towards the left, finding a little twist. And then trying not to let those knees come apart. We're going to bring both knees back through center, all the way, and then over towards the right. So wringing out through the spine, but also using those obliques. Again, we inhale, come back through center, use that core. And over towards the left. On the exhale, inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, over towards the right. One more each side. Inhale back through center. Use that core. Exhale to the left. One more time. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Then we inhale, come back through center. Bring those knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze. Once again, rocking side to side. Massaging that lower back. Now from here, I want you to start to roll those shoulders up. So you want to really round that back. Again, feeling that lower back squeezing down into the mat, already squeezing our core. I want you to then take those arms out in front and then flex those hands, almost like we want to place our hands on top of the ceiling. We're then going to really round that spine, round those shoulders. See how high we can tuck those knees in, up those arms. So basically, this is our crow pose, but on our back. So we find this here, really squeeze that core, rounding that back, trying to get those knees as high up, those arms, maybe they even come onto those triceps. Inhaling here. Exhale, squeeze a little bit more. And then from here, we're going to find some crunches. So as we inhale, we extend the legs, extend the arms, keep that core tight. On the exhale, we crunch back in. Elbows or knees toward those elbows. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, we crunch in. You can flex those hands around those shoulders. Inhale, we extend, open. Exhale, find that crow pose around those shoulders. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, crunching in. Inhale, open. Exhale, crunching in. Can you lift those shoulders a little higher? Inhale, open. We've got two more. Exhale, crunching in. Inhale, extend, last one. Exhale, round. Inhale, we open, and then let those feet go down, let those hands go back down. Woo. From here, I want you to point those toes that are reaching towards the front of the room. You can either interlace those hands, or you can keep them just reaching out in front, locking those thumbs, and then pointing and reaching those hands towards the back of the room. So we're really stretching out through the body here. Inhaling, and exhale to stay. And again, inhale, reaching. Breathe into that belly, up into the ribs. And then exhale, you can relax. And then from here, bring the knees back into the chest, give them a little squeeze. We're going to start to rock up and down the spine now. Rocking forwards and backwards, rolling through the spine. And then from here, the next time we come forwards, we'll cross over at the ankles, rolling over the shins, plant the hands in front, find our tabletop position. Making sure those hands are underneath the shoulders, those knees underneath the hips, untucking the toes. So as we are working towards an arm balance, we do want to warm up those wrists. So we'll just start to rock forwards and backwards. Inhale as we come forwards. Exhale as we take it back. And then we'll start to turn the hands 45 degrees. Take those fingers out, not 45 degrees, we'll take them 90 degrees out towards, so they're pointing towards the sides of the mat. And again, we can rock side to side, forwards and backwards, maybe even circles one way, and then another way. And then we'll turn the hands another 90 degrees. See if you can get those fingers all the way to point back towards those knees or somewhere in between. And then from here, just gently start to rock forwards and backwards, stretching out through those forearms, those wrists. And then gently bringing those hands all the way back round. And then one more little stretch. We'll flip the right palm only, so that palm's facing up. And once again, just gently rocking forwards and backwards. And then flip that palm. Other side, left palm flips up. Rocking forwards and backwards. And then from here, we'll take that hand back underneath the shoulders. So just checking in with our hands. We're going to work through this in our arm balances, but I just want you to notice this now. So those hands are underneath the shoulders, those fingers are spread, and then we're really gripping. I want you to start to grip the fingertips all the way down into the mat, almost like you want to lift up those knuckles. You can see the whites of your fingers as they press down into the mat. So they're really gripping in. We want to make sure that your whole palm is flat on the mat and you're just gripping it with those fingertips. So that's going to be your strong base for your arms when you're in those arm balances. So from here, we're going to find our cat-cows. We inhale, scoop the belly down, lifting the chest, lift the chin. And then as we exhale, we round the back, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. Again, just notice this is also another point that we're going to focus on in our crow pose. We're really rounding that spine, so pressing those hands down into the mat and finding that arch back. Again, we inhale, scoop the belly down, lift the chest. And as we exhale, we round the back, press down through those hands, squeezing that belly button in. Couple more, inhale, lifting that chest, lift the chin, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, rounding that back. One more, finding a bit more space, inhaling. And exhaling. Coming back to our tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend the right leg out behind. We're going to find that cat-cow motion again. As we inhale, we scoop the belly down, lift the chest, lift the chin. See if we can lift that right leg a little bit higher. And then as we exhale, we round the spine. And then I want you to bring that knee and see if you can give it a little tap on that right tricep. So squeezing that core in. Inhale, we extend, lift. Exhale, rounding that spine, knee to right tricep. And again, inhale, open. Exhale, round that back, knee to right tricep, squeezing it in. And then dropping that knee down, You can rock those hips a little bit side to side, ready for the other side. When you're ready, we inhale, extend the left leg out behind. Drop the belly down, lift the chest, see if we can lift that left leg a little higher. As we exhale, we round that back, bringing that left knee towards that left tricep. Really round that spine, squeezing that knee in. Inhale, we open, lift. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, knee to tricep, squeeze that knee in. Inhale, open one more time. Exhale, knee to tricep. And then bringing that knee down, rock those hips side to side. From here, we're going to tuck the toes underneath, making sure you've got that nice controlled or firm grip with your hands. We start to lift the hips up, finding our downward facing dog. Feet hip distance apart, a little bend in the legs to start with. Press down through those hands, lengthen out through the spine, and then just shake your head. Make sure you can release that neck. You're not hunched up in your shoulders. Inhaling here. And exhale, we're going to start to walk the feet out, drawing one heel down at a time, stretching out through the backs of the legs. Walk all the way through the feet, so you're stretching out through those toes as well. Inhale. And exhale. And then planting the feet down. From here, we're going to inhale, rock forwards, find our high plank position. Shoulders over the wrists, squeeze that core, take the gaze forwards. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward dog. And again, inhale, shifting forwards, high plank. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, coming forwards. And exhale, we take it back. This time we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up, and like we did in our tabletop position, we're going to bring that right knee towards that right tricep. So inhaling here. As we exhale, we shift forwards, knee to right tricep. Squeeze that knee up, see how high you can get it up that arm, rounding that back. Inhale, we take that leg all the way up and back, three-legged dog. And again, exhale, knee to right tricep, squeezing it in, rounding that spine, press down through those hands. Inhale, take it up and back. One more time, exhale, shift forwards, knee to right tricep. And then inhale, take it up and back. And then bring that right foot back down, walk through the feet. Ready for that left side, we inhale, lift the left leg up. As we exhale, shift forwards, knee to left tricep. Press down through those hands, lift those hips, round that back. Inhale, take that leg all the way up and back. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Squeeze that core, lift that knee into the chest. Inhale, take it all the way up and back. One more time, exhale. See how high we can get that knee all the way up towards that tricep, nice. Inhale, take it up and back. And then exhale, bring that foot back down, walking through the feet. Our next inhale, I want to shift forwards, high plank. Exhale, we chaturanga. Take the gaze forwards, lower the knees for this first one. Strong core, elbows back halfway. And then all the way onto the belly, untuck the toes. We're going to come all the way down to our belly, so bring the right cheek down towards the mat. Let those arms fall down by the sides. Just give those hands a little bit of a squeeze. That was quite a lot on our hands already. Just rolling them out. And then from here, bring those hands back underneath the shoulders. Finding our cobra, we inhale, start to lift the chest, gentle pressure in those hands, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lower back down, chin towards the mat. And again, inhale, we lift up. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, we come up, cobra. Exhale, all the way back down. And then from here, just slide those hands a little bit further back so they're more in line with your ribs. Finding our upward facing dog. So press down the tops of the feet into the mat. Press through those hands. We lift the whole body off the mat. Let those hips sink down as we roll the shoulders back. Upward facing dog. Inhale. As we exhale, squeeze that core. Press down through those hands to take the hips all the way up and back. Downward facing dog. Once we're there, we're going to inhale, lift the right right leg up. As we exhale, we step that foot through as close as we can between the hands. Drop the back knee down, untucking the toes. Make sure that right knee is above that right ankle. As we inhale, sweep the arms up, finding our low lunge. Sinking those hips forwards, reaching those arms up. You can bring the palms together. Inhaling here. As we exhale, I want to straighten the front leg, find our half splits. Flex that front foot, bring those hands down, folding down. And again, inhale, shift forward, sweep the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, taking it back, half splits. Flex that foot, pull those toes back. One more time, inhale, coming forwards, lift those arms. And exhale, half splits. Folding down. From here, I want you to tuck the back toes. This time, as we sweep forwards, we're going to stand all the way up into our high lunge. So see if we can do it in one whole transition. We inhale, shift forwards, and then stand up strong through those feet. We lift all the way up, high lunge. Nice. Inhaling here. This time, as we exhale, straighten the front leg, and we're going to fold into our pyramid pose. Still feeling that stretch through the back of the leg. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. As we inhale, bend into that front leg, plant those hands. We're going to step straight back to our downward dog. Walking through the feet when we get there. And then going through the other side. We inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale to step that foot through as close as we can, dropping the back knee down, untuck the toes. Find that low lunge to start with. Inhale, sweep those arms up. You can bring the palms together, press those hips forwards, lifting the chin, if it's okay in your neck. Inhaling here. Then as we exhale, we straighten that front leg, shift the weight back, bring those hands down, half splits, flexing that foot. And then going through these two poses, we inhale, shift forwards, low lunge, sweep those arms, bring the palms together. As we exhale, we take it back, half splits. And again, inhaling forwards, lift those arms. And exhale, shifting the weight back, falling down, half splits. So this time we're going to tuck the back toes. We're going to come all the way forwards and standing up into our high lunge. So as we inhale, we shift the weight forward, stand up through those legs, lift the arms, find that high lunge, strong in that core. Inhaling here. As we exhale, straighten that front leg, and we're going to fold down into our pyramid pose. Making sure those hips are staying square towards the front of the mat. So drawing that left hip back, right hip forwards. Inhaling. And exhaling. We're going to bend into that front leg, plant those hands, and stepping all the way back to our downward dog, walking through the feet when we get there. And then taking your time now, slowly walk the feet all the way up towards the top of the mat. Meeting in a forward fold, feet can be hip distance apart. Little micro bend in the legs. And then let that body sway over. Like this ragdoll motion, let everything be heavy. Shake the head, the neck is released, the arms are loose. Big breath in and out. And then slowly from here, we're going to come all the way up to standing. Rolling through the spine, take your time. Almost like that spine is realigning itself as we come all the way up. Head comes up last. And once we get there, we to roll the shoulders up, back and down. Arms by the sides, palms facing forwards. Take a big breath in through the nose, all the way down to the belly, the ribs, the chest. And then out through the mouth, exhale. Bringing those feet together, toes touch, heels slightly apart. We're going to just take 3 sun salutation A now. If you're a little more familiar with this, just really see if you can focus on that breath and movement. As we inhale, we sweep the arms up, palms together. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale, we halfway lift, finding that flat back. This first one, exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, high plank, strong core. Inhaling here. Exhale, chaturanga, shift forwards, lower the knees if you want to, elbows back halfway. Flipping onto the tops of the feet, we straighten the arms, find upward facing dog, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, take those hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. Now we won't stay here for too long. Big breath in and exhale. One more breath, inhale together. As we exhale, we bend the knees, look between the hands. You can step, walk, or even hop the feet up, toes together at the top of the mat. As we get there, inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, roll up to standing, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, palms at the chest, we go again. Inhale, lift those arms. Exhale, we forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. This time, one long exhale, we take ourselves all the way back through our chaturanga, stepping or hopping back to the belly for cobra as we inhale or upward facing dog, roll the shoulders back. And as we exhale, take those hips all the way up and back, find that downward facing dog. Inhaling here. As we exhale, draw those heels down. And again, inhale. This time as we exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step, walk, or even hop those feet up. Squeeze that core as we do. Inhale, halfway lift once we get there. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, palms at the chest, one more round. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Long exhale, plant the hands, make your way back through your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Make sure that neck is released. Inhale. Exhale, drawing those heels down. Just one more breath here, inhaling. As we exhale, I want you to bend the knees, look between the hands, try hopping towards the top of the mat. Squeeze that core, challenge yourself. All the way to the top. As we get there, inhale, flat back. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, palms out the chest. Nice. So now we're going to come into a little bit of crow play. So what I want you to do is, if you do have yoga blocks, or you have that cushion or something you want to use, you can grab those now. And then I want you to take yourself just a little bit more towards the middle of your mat. So we've got that space in front of us. Now first of all, we're going to set up with our hands. So we want our hands to be shoulder distance apart, fingers spread, and like we talked about at the beginning, gripping those fingertips into the mat. So to start with, we'll just move those blocks to the side. And then from here, so we've got those fingers gripping into the mat. And then start to tuck the toes underneath. And then you're going to walk those feet a little bit closer towards those hands. And then bend into those legs, sink those hips down. So from here, we're taking our chaturanga hands. So those elbows are going to come back. So we're creating this little shelf for our knees to sit on top. So what we want to do is we want to lift those hips up nice and high. Start to bend into those elbows and see if you can get those knees on top of those triceps. So we can just stay here and then finding this rounding back. And then I want you to make sure you're not tucking your chin, looking to your feet or looking to your hands. You want to be looking above your hands, so towards the top of the mat. So we're bending into those elbows. Those knees are going to touch towards the back of the triceps, looking forwards. And then from here, we're just going to start to rock forwards and backwards. And notice as you rock forwards, bringing that weight into those hands, you're gripping with those fingertips. Squeezing that core as we do, rounding that back. And just taking your time now, you can have a little play with the next time you rock forwards. You can lift one foot, squeezing that foot in, and then placing it back down. And then rocking forward, squeeze the other foot in, and placing it back down. So just staying here, and then you can come down if you want to take a little bit of a rest, a little wiggle. And then the next time we come forwards, we can have a go with lifting one foot, and then maybe playing around with lifting the other foot. So if you want to try using your yoga blocks, what you can do is you can place your feet on top of the yoga blocks, and that's just going to give you a little bit extra height. So you take those feet on top of the blocks, you bend into those elbows, and that's going to take more of that weight off those feet already. Take that gaze forwards, lift one foot, and see if we can lift that other foot. We really want to think about squeezing that core here as we're taking that flight, rounding that spine, squeezing the belly button in. Nice. Whew, gets the heart rate up. Faux show. So just taking your time, rolling out through those wrists a little bit, and then giving it another go if you want. And if you do have that cushion, it can be just that extra little bit of confidence for you if you place the cushion in front of potentially where your face would go, just so you give yourself that confidence to take that flight. But if you've got that strength through your core, and you will not fall forwards. Trust yourself. And then you can move those blocks to the side if you have them. This time, the next time we come into, we're going to have one more go at coming into crow or half crow with just the one foot. And then we're going to take a vinyasa all the way back to downward dog. So you can either step the feet back from your crow, or if you have that confidence, you can have a little play and see if you can jump those feet back. So I'll just give you a little demonstration. So we come into that crow, squeeze that core, looking forwards, and then shoot those legs back into that chaturanga and taking that vinyasa. If you don't want to if you feel like you haven't got the confidence for that just yet, you can step those feet back one at a time. So we're ready? Let's do this. So taking that crow, lifting those hips, rounding that back, and you can step the feet back into our vinyasa or hopping back. Woo! All the way back, downward facing dog, and then from here I want you to bring the knees down, take our child's pose, giving ourselves this little rest. You can either bring the knees together, or if you want, you can take the knees out a little bit wider, and that's just going to open up into those hips a bit more. And you can either have those arms out in front, or if it feels nice to have them down by the sides, if your thighs are together, rounding that back, rounding those shoulders. Whatever's more comfortable for you. You just want to get that heart rate back down. Focusing on that breath. Close the eyes. Inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. If you want, you can squeeze your fists together, roll out your hands onto your elbows, just rolling up those wrists, nice and gently. And then taking your time now, planting those hands out in front, we're going to come all the way back into our downward facing dog. So lifting those hips up. Feet hip distance apart, drawing those heels down, spine nice and long. Inhale and exhale. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up. As we exhale, I want you to bend the knee and open up the hip. Making sure that that right shoulder isn't opening up too, but you're drawing that right shoulder down. So keeping that body square to the mat, but stacking the hips, opening the hips. Staying here if you want, or taking wild thing, we shift forwards first, letting that foot fall all the way behind. And then lift those hips, open that chest, find that wild thing. Inhale. And as we exhale, look back down towards the mat. Plant that right hand, flipping back, three-legged dog. As we exhale, we step that foot through as close as we can between those hands. Drop the back heel down. As we inhale, lift all the way up into our warrior two. So bending into that front leg, arms out wide. Take the gaze over that front hand. Just checking in, make sure that knee isn't falling in, but it's actively pressing out so you can see the inside of that right foot. And then also make sure that body isn't leaning too far forwards, but we're staying into that center point right in our hips. So we've got that nice strong foundation in our legs. From here, I want to flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, reach that arm all the way up, and then taking it back just a little bit. Now you can stay here in your reverse warrior with that back hand, just gently resting on that back leg. If you want, you can wrap that back arm all the way around that lower back and see if you can reach those fingertips towards that front thigh. Maybe you can even reach it in towards that front hip crease. Bending into that front leg, reaching that right arm all the way up and back. Inhale. And exhale, we release the hands, coming back into our warrior two. Coming into our half moon pose. If you have yoga blocks, it can be really nice to take that yoga block and just take it towards that top right hand corner already for that little preparation. If you don't have them, that's okay. But I find it can actually be really nice in our half moon. So what I want you to do is start to shift the weight forwards. Take that hand towards that top right hand corner onto that block at any height. You can even have it on the highest height. And then we're going to step up nice and strong all the way into that right leg and then supporting that right hand. And we open that body up so that left leg lifts. I want you to make sure that that left leg isn't coming up too high. We want it to stay in line with that body, stay in line with that hip. Nice. Opening those hips. Flex that floating foot to that heel is drawing towards the back of the room. And then if we want, reaching that left arm up. So this is where the block really helps if you have it, because you can really let that left arm reach up and open that chest. Because sometimes if we're reaching down towards the mat, we find ourselves closing down like this, when really we want to be nice and open towards that left-hand side. Love it. Inhaling here. As we exhale, bend into that standing leg. Step the back foot back, find our warrior two once again. Inhale. Exhale, take that vinyasa. Windmill those hands down. Stepping back through your vinyasa. You can keep that right foot lifted if you want, taking three-legged chaturanga. Inhale. All legs down for our up dog. And exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So going through the other side, we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up. As we exhale, bend the knee, open up that hip. Again, checking in, make sure those shoulders are staying square down towards the mat. But we're just opening our hips, that left knee pointing up. You can stay here, or we find wild thing. We're finding wild thing, shift forwards first, and then let that foot fall behind. Press through those feet, lift the hips, open the chest, inhale. As we exhale, look down towards the mat, planting the hand, find three-legged dog. Inhaling here. As we exhale, stepping that foot through, as close as we can between those hands. Drop the back heel down already, setting up for our warrior two. Standing up nice and strong, lift those arms. Bending into that front leg, arms out wide. Taking the gaze over that front hand. Checking in with that front knee now, make sure it's not falling in, but it's actively drawing out wide. We're opening up into those hips, and that body is staying in that center line. From here, we flip that front palm. Reverse the warrior, reach that arm all the way up and back. Breathing into the ribs. Now again, you can either have that right hand just gently resting on that back leg, or wrapping it around that lower back, and see if you can take those fingers and see if you can reach them towards that thigh or in that hip crease. Bending into that front leg. It's just another little variation. It's not necessary. Inhaling here. And exhale. Releasing the hands where they are. And again, if you do have that yoga block, just want you to take it towards that top left-hand corner. Coming into our half moon pose now. We reach that left hand towards that block, taking the gaze down for that support, and then we'll step strong into that front leg, float the back leg up and opening that body towards the right. So open those hips, having that support in that hand on that block if you have it, and then bringing that right arm up, so opening that chest. And then checking in, making sure that that floating leg isn't lifted too high. You really want to get it nice and in line with those hips. Flexing that foot so that heel is drawing behind. It's not necessary if you don't have the blocks, but if you do, it can really help to open that chest towards that right hand side. Inhaling here, and exhale. Start to bend into that standing leg now. Slowly step the back toes back. We inhale, stand up, warrior two. As we exhale, windmill the hands down. Take that vinyasa. You can keep that leg lifted as you shoot it all the way back, or you can lower it, your choice. Inhale to our back bend. And exhale, take it all the way back. Downward facing dog. From here, bring the knees down once again. Take our child's pose. Focusing on that breath. And then from here, take that gaze between those hands. We're going to come all the way through onto our belly. Bring the right cheek down towards the mat. Let those arms fall down by the sides. Let the shoulders round, those elbows roll down. Inhaling. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then we're going to come onto our chin or our forehead just so we can lengthen out that neck. Coming into our locust pose here. Just start to use that lower back, start to lift the chest, rolling those shoulders back and see if we can interlace those hands behind our backs. If we can't reach, either using a yoga strap if you have one handy, or using a little bit of our clothing. But we really want to think about squeezing those shoulder blades together. See if we can lift those hands a little bit away from that lower back. Strengthening that lower back now, lifting that chest, and then activating the muscles in the legs. We lift the feet, the knees, maybe even the thighs, finding our locust pose. This is really strengthening now. Inhale, exhale to stay. Inhale, lift a little higher. And then this time, exhale, lowering down, release the hands. Bring the left cheek down towards the mat, and then rock those hips side to side. Second variation of this back bend, coming into our bow pose. So once again, bring the chin down towards the mat. This time, bend the legs, squeeze those feet in towards the body, and then see if we can take a hold of those feet or those ankles with our hands. And then from here, we lift the chest, roll those shoulders back, using that lower back to find that height. And then from here, we kick the feet into the hands. See if you can lift those thighs a little bit higher off the mat. Everything's drawing up and back, remembering to breathe here. Inhale. I know it's uncomfortable. Exhale, stay. And again, inhale, maybe kick those feet a little higher. And then exhale, slowly release back down, release the feet. Bring the right cheek down towards the mat, rocking those hips side to side. And now we're really going to slow things down. So all the hard work is done. And find some deeper poses now. And to start with, just bring those hands underneath the shoulders. You can take yourself back to your child's pose. And then we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So if you want to come into pigeon on your back, then from here we can roll onto our back. Or if you want to take it from your downward dog, then we'll just lift into our downward dog. And we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up. And then as we exhale, start to bring that shin forwards, flex that right foot and take it over towards that left-hand side first. And then placing that shin down behind those wrists at any angle. The more parallel it is with the short edge of that mat, the deeper the stretch you'll find. You want to drop that back knee down. Just making sure that those hips are staying nice and square to face the front of the room. Again, if you have a block or a cushion, it can be really helpful. Really nice to place it underneath that left, or that right thigh, sorry, or that right hip bone, and that's just going to give you that extra little bit of height. Otherwise, you stay here. And then start to walk those hands out in front, and taking it to where you want to take it. You can come down to your forearms, or maybe even that forehead can come down. I just really want you to make sure that that foot is staying flexed. That's going to protect that right knee joint. Closing those eyes, focusing on sending the breath into that hip. It's a deep pose. It's really important to find that release in those hips now. Inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. With each inhale, send the breath into that hip. And with each exhale, releasing that tension, sinking a little bit deeper. Couple more breaths here, keep them nice and long. One more, inhale. And exhale. And then bringing those hands back underneath those shoulders. Nice and steady, take your time. We'll tuck the back toes under, and then press through those hands, and then take that right leg all the way to the back. Walk through those feet. Maybe it feels a little tingly in that foot or in that leg. That's okay, that just means it's working. Getting into all that fascia in those muscles in the skin. And then from here, we'll go through the other side. So inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, bringing that shin forward. Flex that foot first as you place it down over towards the right. And then lowering that shin down. Keeping those hips nice and square. Drop the back knee and tuck the toes. You can use that block, placing it underneath that left thigh or left hip, giving yourself that extra support. Either way, we want to keep those hips nice and square, and then melting down into this pose. So you can walk the hands out in front. Maybe it feels nicer for you to stay on those hands. You don't want to close the eyes wherever you are. And take those nice long breaths. Each inhale, breathing into the stretch. And with each exhale, you're feeling all of that tension releasing and sinking a little bit deeper. Make sure that foot stays flexed. And make sure you keep breathing. Breathe through the discomfort. Inhale. And exhale, releasing. Couple more breaths here. Really releasing that tension. Last breath, inhale. And exhale. And slowly bringing those hands back up, underneath the shoulders. And then a little different this time, we'll roll onto the outside of that left hip and bringing both legs out in front. Give them a little squeeze, a little shake. And then coming into our seated forward fold, so those legs together. Really sat on those sit bones. As we inhale, reach the arms up, find space in the body. And then exhale, taking that forward fold, reaching those hands like they really want to reach towards the front of the room. And then bringing the hands down where you can reach. If you do have a yoga strap handy and you want to reach for those toes, you can wrap the strap around the toes. And pulling ourselves down this way. Inhale, you can slightly release, lift the body away from the thighs. And as you exhale, pulling yourself down a little bit deeper. Breathing in. And exhale. And again, inhaling. And exhale. Slowly now, rolling all the way up. You might want to scooch forwards just a little bit. So we're going to roll all the way down onto our backs. Taking your time. Head comes down last. Once we're there, bring the right knee into the chest. Gently start to squeeze it in. Inhale. And exhale. And then from here, I want you to place your right foot on top of that left thigh and then guide that knee over towards the left. We're finding this twist. Now you can just stay here if you want, and you can let that right arm fall out towards the side if this is just enough for you. Or if you want, you can start to bend that straight leg, so that left leg, that left foot draws in, squeezes up towards the butt, and see if you can take a hold of that foot with that right hand. So you've got that left hand on top of that right thigh, and then you've got that right hand on top of that left foot. Drawing those knees down, twisting through the core. And if it's okay in the neck, maybe you could even take that gaze over towards the right. Inhale here. And exhale to stay. And again, inhale. This time, exhale, release that foot if you have it. And inhale, coming back through center. Let the right leg go out long. As we then draw the left knee into the chest, squeezing it in. Inhale. And exhale. This time placing that foot on top of the right thigh and then guiding that knee over towards the right. And we can just stay here in this gentle twist, ringing through that spine, having that right hand on top of that left thigh, encouraging that knee down. And you can let the left arm go out wide. Or if you want, if you did it on the other side, or maybe you just want to try it on this side, you can bend that right leg in, squeeze that foot in, and see if you can take a hold of that foot with that spare hand. The gaze can go over towards that left-hand side. Eyes can close. Breathing into this twist. Inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And slowly release that foot if we have it. And then rolling back all the way onto your backs. Just gently start to bring both knees into the chest, drawing them in. One last time, give them a little squeeze. And then start to lift the forehead up towards the knees, so you're really rounding that back, squeezing into a little ball, as small as we can get. And then coming into as big as we can get. Let those legs go out long to the corners of the mat. If you want to grab anything for your Shavasana, then just gently grab those now. We're going to come all the way onto our backs, arms by the sides, palms facing up. Let the feet fall apart. Let the eyes close. And we can let go of the breath now. Come back to our natural breathing pattern. And then we're just going to do a little scan through the body. Starting with our feet, starting with those toes. Feeling all the muscles in the feet, all the way up into the ankles, releasing and melting away into the ground. And then up into the shins and the knees. And then the thighs and the hips all melting away. All the muscles relaxing and releasing. And then we come into the core, to those abdominal muscles, lower back, all the way up into the chest and the shoulder blades, all just melting away. And then from our fingertips and our hands, our forearms, our elbows, our arms all melting away, drifting away. Slowly coming into our shoulders, our neck, and then eventually our head and our face, everything just melting away. And then from here, just want you to find a little micro movement in those fingers and the toes. Like the body is slowly thawing. It's been frozen for hundreds of years. Coming into the fingers, and then the hands and the feet. Body is slowly waking up. And then in the arms and the legs. And it comes all the way into the lungs and the chest. Take a big breath in and out. And then we can take the arms up overhead, finding a full body stretch. And in your own time, rolling onto your side. Keep those eyes closed, slow movements. And taking your time now, you can come up to a nice comfortable seated position. Just closing the class off, bringing the palms together at the chest. Take the forehead down towards the fingertips. Inhale here. Open the mouth, sigh the breath out. Namaste.